In this video, I'll be discussing the genetics of fingerprinting by going over a crime scene. Michael is a successful businessman who owns many shipping companies, but his greed has led him to have many enemies, including members of his own family. On April 5, 2020, Michael's body was found in his office. On the crime scene, police found Michael's body on the ground with a knife through his body. 4 people were identified as suspects of this crime scene. Suspect 1 was Michael's daughter Olivia, who worked for her father for 2 years but was resenting him since her parents got divorced. Suspect 2, Nancy, Olivia's mom and Michael's ex-wife, who threatened to spread rumors about the way he conducts his business arrangements if he didn't divorce her. Suspect 3 was Margaret, Michael's underpaid secretary, who has proved her dedication and loyalty and has resented Michael as well. Suspect 4 was George, Michael's best friend and assistant, who fell in love with Nancy and who has turned him against Michael. All these suspects resented Michael, who was the victim, and all had motives. But who really killed Michael? The DNA sample that was collected and amplified for 2 different VNTR loci was the fingerprints found on the knife. VNTR stands for variable number of tandem repeats. The DNA amplified was ran on separate gels to create DNA fingerprints. The samples were compared to each of the suspects' DNA as well as the victim's DNA to find out who was the murderer. Looking at the DNA sample in VNTR locus 1, we can see that both Margaret and George's DNA matches the banding pattern. We can exclude Olivia and Nancy from being the source of this DNA sample because their banding patterns do not match exactly. Even if they match partially, they still cannot be the murderers. In order for a DNA match to occur, the suspect's DNA must match the sample DNA exactly on both loci. Even though we already know that Olivia is the daughter of victim Michael and one of the suspects, Nancy, we can verify this from the VNTR loci. When analyzing DNA fingerprints for biological parents, the child must receive 1 allele from their mom and 1 from their dad. When we look at Michael's bands in VNTR locus 1, we can see that his first band matches that of Olivia and Nancy's first band matches Olivia's second band. Now, let's look at the DNA sample in VNTR loci 2. Here, we see that Nancy and Margaret's DNA matches exactly, meaning that we can exclude Olivia and George. Now that we have matches for both samples, we can realize that Margaret's DNA is an exact match for both loci, therefore she is the murderer. Margaret was caught stealing thousands of dollars from Michael's safe, and when she was caught, she stabbed him to death.